At some point after 70, many people begin to notice subtle changes. Climbing stairs feels harder, carrying groceries takes more effort, and strength does not seem to come as naturally as before. It is easy to assume this is just part of aging. But losing muscle is not something your body is doomed to accept without a fight. Even later in life, your muscles can still respond to the right kind of nutrition and support. In other words, your body is still capable of rebuilding more than most people imagine. In this video, you will see which foods actually help support muscle building after 70, why some choices work better than others, and what mistakes can make this process much harder. And once that becomes clear, the path to feeling stronger starts to look much simpler. Food 1. Whey protein. One of the most effective foods for supporting muscle after 70 often surprises people. Whey protein. Many assume protein powder is only meant for athletes, but in reality it can be extremely useful for older adults who want to maintain strength and independence. As the body ages, muscles become less sensitive to the protein we eat. This process is known as anabolic resistance. In simple terms, the muscles need a stronger nutritional signal before they begin repairing and rebuilding themselves. Whey protein provides that signal very efficiently because it is rich in essential amino acids, especially leucine. Leucine plays a key role in activating muscle protein synthesis, which is the biological process responsible for rebuilding muscle fibers. When enough leucine reaches the muscles, it signals the body that it is time to start repairing tissue. Another advantage of whey protein is how quickly it is absorbed. Scientists often describe it as a fast protein because its amino acids enter the bloodstream rapidly, usually within about 30 minutes. This creates a strong wave of nutrients that aging muscles can detect and respond to more easily. For many people over 70, appetite tends to decrease, which makes it harder to eat enough protein through meals alone. Whey protein can help solve this problem because a single scoop added to oatmeal, yogurt, or a smoothie can easily provide around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. If this kind of content is already helping you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That support helps keep this type of information coming. And once protein intake becomes sufficient, another traditional food becomes extremely important for supporting muscle strength and overall vitality. Food 2. Whole eggs. Whole eggs are one of the most complete foods for supporting muscle health after 70. For many years, people were told to avoid the yolk and eat only egg whites. But when the goal is maintaining or rebuilding muscle, the entire egg provides a much more powerful nutritional combination. The egg white contains high-quality protein with all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair muscle tissue. These amino acids act as building blocks that help restore muscle fibers after daily activity. Because the protein in eggs closely matches what the human body requires, it is considered one of the most efficient proteins for muscle maintenance. The yolk adds another important layer of nutrition. It contains vitamin D, vitamin B12, and choline, nutrients that play important roles in muscle strength and nerve function. Vitamin D supports muscle contraction and balance, while vitamin B12 helps maintain the communication between the brain and the muscles through the nervous system. Choline also supports the production of acetylcholine, a chemical messenger that allows nerves to signal muscles to move. When this communication works properly, everyday movements like standing up, climbing stairs, or carrying objects become easier and more stable. Another advantage of eggs is digestibility. As people age, the digestive system can become less efficient at breaking down food and absorbing nutrients. Eggs are relatively easy to digest, which allows the body to access their protein and nutrients quickly. For muscle support, a meal that includes 3 whole eggs provides a strong protein dose that helps reach the threshold needed to stimulate muscle repair. Combined with vegetables, a small portion of whole grains, or healthy fats, eggs can form a balanced and practical meal that supports strength throughout the day. And once the body receives enough complete protein, the next step is adding foods that not only build muscle, but also improve how the muscles respond to protein itself. Food 3. Fatty fish. Fatty fish plays a unique role in muscle health because it supports two important processes at the same time. It provides high-quality protein that helps rebuild muscle fibers, and it also contains omega-3 fatty acids that improve how the muscles respond to that protein. The protein found in fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, or tuna contains all essential amino acids needed for muscle repair. A typical portion about the size of the palm of your hand can provide close to 30 grams of protein, which is enough to trigger the muscle rebuilding process. But what makes fatty fish especially valuable after 70 is the presence of omega-3 fats. These fats influence how muscle cells respond to nutrients. As people age, muscle tissue can become less responsive to the signals that normally trigger growth and repair. Omega-3 fatty acids help increase the sensitivity of muscle cells, allowing protein to work more effectively. In simple terms, omega-3 fats make the muscle-building signal stronger. They help the body use the protein you eat more efficiently, which is particularly helpful when muscles become more resistant to growth with age. Another benefit of fatty fish is its ability to reduce low-grade inflammation in the body. As the years pass, many people develop a persistent background inflammation that can interfere with muscle repair. Omega-3 fatty acids help calm this process, creating a more favorable environment for muscle maintenance. Including fatty fish in meals 2 or 3 times per week can provide both the protein and the healthy fats that aging muscles respond to well. When combined with other protein sources during the week, this type of food can help reinforce the signals that keep muscle tissue active and supported. And while protein and healthy fats are essential, the body also relies on another type of food that supports digestion and nutrient absorption, which plays a surprisingly important role in muscle health. Food 4. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is another food that can quietly make a big difference in muscle health after 70. At first glance, it may look similar to regular yogurt, but nutritionally, it is quite different. The process used to make Greek yogurt removes much of the liquid whey, leaving a thicker product that contains significantly more protein. Protein is essential for muscle repair because it supplies amino acids, the small molecules the body uses to rebuild muscle fibers. A single cup of plain Greek yogurt can provide close to 20 grams of protein, making it an easy way to support daily protein intake without needing large meals. Another advantage of Greek yogurt is the type of protein it contains. Much of it is casein, a slow-digesting protein. Unlike fast proteins that are absorbed quickly, casein releases amino acids gradually over several hours. This slow release helps provide a steady supply of nutrients to the muscles. This becomes especially useful during long periods without food, such as overnight while sleeping. During sleep, the body continues repairing tissues and maintaining muscle. Having a slow source of protein in the evening can help support that process by feeding the muscles while the body rests. Greek yogurt also contains beneficial bacteria known as probiotics. These bacteria support the balance of the gut microbiome, the community of microorganisms living in the digestive system. A healthier digestive environment improves nutrient absorption, allowing the body to use protein, vitamins, and minerals more effectively. For best results, plain Greek yogurt tends to be the better option because flavored versions often contain large amounts of added sugar. Adding fresh fruit, berries, or a small handful of nuts can provide natural sweetness while also contributing extra nutrients that support overall health. When foods like Greek yogurt help improve digestion and nutrient absorption, the body becomes better prepared to use the protein it receives, and that leads to another food that delivers one of the most concentrated natural sources of muscle-building nutrients. Food 5. Lean beef. Lean beef is one of the most nutrient-dense foods for supporting muscle maintenance after 70. While many foods provide protein, beef offers a particularly powerful combination of amino acids, minerals, and vitamins that aging muscles rely on. From a biological perspective, muscle tissue is constantly breaking down and rebuilding. To support this process, the body needs essential amino acids. Lean beef provides all of them in balanced proportions, making it a complete protein source that the body can use efficiently. One of the most important amino acids in beef is leucine. Leucine plays a key role in activating muscle protein synthesis, the internal process that signals the body to rebuild muscle fibers. When enough leucine reaches muscle cells, it essentially tells the body that the building process can begin. Beyond protein, lean beef is also rich in nutrients that directly support muscle function. Iron is one of them. Iron helps transport oxygen through the bloodstream to muscle tissue. When muscles receive enough oxygen, they are able to produce energy more effectively and sustain physical activity with less fatigue. Beef also contains zinc and several B vitamins, which support energy metabolism and cellular repair. These nutrients help the body convert food into usable energy and assist in maintaining healthy muscle cells over time. Choosing lean cuts helps balance nutrition while limiting excess saturated fat. Options such as sirloin, tenderloin, or lean ground beef provide high-quality protein with a lower fat content, making them practical choices for regular meals. When lean beef is included a few times during the week alongside other protein sources, it can help strengthen the overall nutritional foundation that muscles depend on. But building muscle after 70 does not depend only on the foods themselves. How and when those foods are eaten can also make a significant difference in how the body responds. Protein timing and muscle response. Eating the right foods is essential for maintaining muscle after 70, but timing can influence how effectively the body uses those nutrients. Muscles are not constantly rebuilding at the same rate throughout the day. Instead, they become more receptive to protein during certain periods, especially after physical activity. When muscles are used, even during light activities like walking, climbing stairs, or doing household tasks, tiny amounts of stress occur within the muscle fibers. This stress is not harmful. In fact, it acts as a signal that tells the body to repair and strengthen those fibers. After activity, the body enters a phase where muscle cells become more sensitive to amino acids from protein. During this window, protein is used more efficiently for muscle repair. This is why meals that contain sufficient protein after movement can have a stronger effect on maintaining muscle mass. For older adults, this response becomes even more important. Because of anabolic resistance, muscles need a clearer signal before the rebuilding process begins. Providing a solid amount of protein after periods of activity helps overcome that resistance and stimulates the repair process. Another factor that influences muscle response is protein distribution throughout the day. Instead of concentrating most protein in a single meal, spreading protein across several meals can provide repeated signals for muscle repair. For example, meals that include roughly 25 to 40 grams of protein can help activate muscle protein synthesis more effectively. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner that each reach this level provide multiple opportunities for the body to support muscle maintenance. When meals are structured this way, muscles receive a steady supply of the nutrients they need throughout the day. And once protein intake and timing begin to support muscle repair, certain food combinations can further improve how well the body absorbs and uses these nutrients. Food combinations that improve protein use. Beyond individual foods, certain nutrient combinations can make protein more effective for muscle maintenance after 70. The body does not process nutrients in isolation. Instead, vitamins, minerals, and other compounds often work together to improve absorption and support muscle function. One important combination involves vitamin D and protein. Vitamin D plays a role in muscle contraction and cellular signaling. When adequate vitamin D is present, muscle cells respond more efficiently to the amino acids provided by protein. Foods such as eggs, fatty fish, and mushrooms naturally contain vitamin D and can help support this process. Another useful combination involves antioxidants and protein. Antioxidants help reduce oxidative stress, which can interfere with muscle recovery. Fruits like berries contain compounds that support recovery by helping control inflammation that can develop after physical activity. When these foods are combined with protein sources like yogurt or cottage cheese, they support both repair and recovery. Vitamin C can also support how the body uses certain proteins, particularly plant-based proteins. Plant proteins sometimes contain lower amounts of specific amino acids compared with animal proteins. When foods rich in vitamin C, such as citrus fruits, bell peppers, or tomatoes, are eaten alongside plant proteins like beans or lentils, the body may absorb and use those nutrients more effectively. Healthy fats also play a supporting role. Fats from foods like olive oil, nuts, seeds, and avocados help the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, including vitamins A, D, E, and K. These nutrients support many processes related to muscle health, including cellular repair and immune balance. When meals combine protein with these supportive nutrients, the body becomes better equipped to use what it receives. This means that the same amount of protein can produce a stronger effect when the surrounding nutrition supports absorption and recovery. However, even when the right foods are included, certain eating habits and food choices can interfere with muscle maintenance. Understanding which foods tend to work against muscle health can help protect the progress that proper nutrition is trying to achieve. Foods and habits that can slow muscle maintenance. While certain foods help support muscle health after 70, others can quietly interfere with the body's ability to maintain strength. Understanding these habits is important because sometimes the problem is not the lack of good foods, but the presence of choices that work against muscle repair. One of the most common issues is excessive alcohol consumption. Alcohol can interfere with muscle protein synthesis, the biological process responsible for repairing muscle fibers. It can also disrupt sleep quality, and sleep is one of the main periods when the body performs tissue repair. When sleep is poor, the body has fewer opportunities to rebuild muscle effectively. Another factor that can slow muscle maintenance is the frequent consumption of ultra-processed foods. These foods often contain large amounts of refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, preservatives, and additives. While they may provide calories, they tend to lack the nutrients required for muscle repair. When these foods replace more nutritious options, the body receives energy, but not the building materials it needs. Added sugar can also play a role. Large amounts of sugar may contribute to increased inflammation in the body. Chronic low-grade inflammation can interfere with the signaling pathways involved in muscle repair. Over time, this can make it harder for the body to respond to the protein that is consumed. Another common habit is eating meals that are very large in volume but low in protein. Large salads or grain-based meals that contain very small amounts of protein may feel filling, but they do not provide enough amino acids to trigger muscle protein synthesis. For muscle maintenance, the presence of sufficient protein in each meal is more important than the overall size of the meal. Skipping meals can create another challenge. Appetite often decreases with age, and some people unintentionally go many hours without eating. When this happens repeatedly, the body may not receive the consistent supply of amino acids required to maintain muscle tissue. Regular meals that include adequate protein help keep the repair process active throughout the day. Reducing these habits does not require perfection. Instead, the goal is to create an environment where the body can respond properly to the nutrients that support muscle health. Once that foundation is in place, a few additional nutritional tools can sometimes provide extra support for maintaining strength over time. Supplements that may support muscle maintenance. Food should always be the foundation of muscle health. Whole foods provide protein, vitamins, minerals, and many other compounds that work together to support muscle repair. However, in some situations, Certain supplements may help reinforce this process, especially after 70. One of the most studied supplements for muscle function is creatine. Creatine is a natural compound stored inside muscle cells that helps produce energy during movement. As the body ages, the amount of creatine stored in muscle can gradually decline, which may contribute to reduced strength and slower recovery. When creatine levels are increased through small daily supplementation, muscle cells can produce energy more efficiently. This extracellular energy helps muscles perform better during physical activity and can support the process of maintaining muscle tissue over time. Another important nutrient is vitamin D. Vitamin D plays a role in muscle contraction, balance, and coordination. Low levels of vitamin D are very common in older adults, especially among those who spend less time exposed to sunlight. When vitamin D levels are adequate, muscle cells respond more effectively to physical activity and protein intake. This helps support both muscle strength and overall mobility, which becomes increasingly important for maintaining independence with age. A third compound sometimes used to support muscle maintenance is HMB, short for beta-hydroxy-beta-methylbutyrate. HMB is a substance produced from the amino acid leucine and has been studied for its ability to help reduce muscle breakdown. For older adults who are beginning to increase their activity levels or trying to preserve muscle mass, HMB may help support the balance between muscle breakdown and muscle repair. While it is not a replacement for proper nutrition, it may provide additional support when combined with adequate protein intake. A simple daily structure for muscle support. Once the right foods are included in the diet, the next step is organizing meals in a way that helps the body use those nutrients effectively. Muscle maintenance after 70 is not only about what is eaten, but also about how protein is distributed throughout the day. Muscles respond best when they receive clear protein signals several times during the day. Instead of consuming most of the daily protein in one large meal, spreading protein across multiple meals can create repeated opportunities for muscle repair. A practical approach is to include a solid protein source at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Each of these meals should contain enough protein to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, the internal process that helps rebuild muscle tissue. For many older adults, this usually means meals containing roughly 25 to 40 grams of protein. Breakfast is particularly important because many traditional breakfasts are low in protein. Starting the day with foods such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie can provide the body with the amino acids needed to begin supporting muscle maintenance early in the day. Lunch and dinner can then reinforce this process by including protein sources such as fish, poultry, lean meats, or other protein-rich foods. When these meals also include vegetables, healthy fats, and whole carbohydrates, they provide the additional nutrients needed to support energy and recovery. Even a small, protein-focused snack between meals can help maintain a steady supply of amino acids. Options like yogurt, cottage cheese, nuts, or a protein shake can help bridge the gap between meals and prevent long periods without protein intake. When the body receives consistent protein signals across the day, muscle tissue is more likely to remain active and supported. Over time, this pattern helps reinforce the nutritional environment that muscles rely on to maintain strength and stability. And once this daily structure becomes consistent, maintaining muscle becomes less about strict rules and more about building sustainable habits that support strength over the long term. Maintaining muscle after 70 is not about chasing complicated solutions. In many cases, the most powerful changes come from simple decisions repeated consistently every day. When the body receives enough high-quality protein, it gains the raw materials needed to repair and maintain muscle tissue. Foods such as eggs, fatty fish, Greek yogurt, lean meats, and protein-rich options like whey provide the amino acids that muscles depend on to stay active. Equally important is how these foods are distributed throughout the day. Providing steady protein signals through regular meals helps overcome the natural resistance that muscles develop with age. Over time, this consistent nutritional support creates the conditions the body needs to preserve strength. Avoiding habits that interfere with muscle repair also plays an important role. Highly processed foods, excessive sugar, and irregular eating patterns can make it harder for the body to respond to the nutrients it receives. Reducing these obstacles allows the benefits of proper nutrition to become much more effective. The key message is simple. Even after 70, the body is still capable of responding, adapting, and maintaining strength when it receives the support it needs. Small daily choices with food can make a meaningful difference in energy, mobility, and long-term independence. What was the idea that surprised you the most? If this type of content makes sense to you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel.